Hey everyone, it's 9:57. No, that's not right. It's 8:57 on the 9th of man, everything's jumbled in my head. I'm gonna start this again. Hi, it is 8:57 in the evening on the 9th of December 2024. If it's possible, not if, I've been told by everyone up here, today was even more muggy than I think it's been so far. It's definitely been one of the hotter days. Been a good day. I have been having very strange dreams. Sometimes I remember them. I don't remember last night's dream, but I do know it was strange because upon wakening and coming out into the lounge, I told Moby I had a really strange dream. So I've been up since 7. I had my computer ready to go on the kitchen table, or dining room table, with my list of to-do stuff to work my way through, and I'm very pleased to say I've had a really productive day. Far more productive than other days, if you don't count all the driving and the moving and everything else, just like a good old-fashioned regular day. And then I took him some food, and friends of his who I've met in the past a few times, they came into the shop and asked me what happened with Boss. And believe you me when I say I am very easily triggered when it comes to Boss. Like, our neighbour's dog sounds like Boss sometimes, and today the dog started barking and it just like truly hit me, and I had to like stop what I was doing and breathe to get through the feeling of wanting to have a breakdown, or not wanting to have a breakdown. I don't think anyone wants to break down, but I think you know what I'm trying to say, yeah? And I was really pleased with my efforts, and really rather surprised, I guess, more than anything else, that I was able to hold an entire conversation explaining everything that had happened and what we've been through with Boss. And you know, yeah, like I think I've explained it. I mean, briefly, he had the surgery 2 weeks after I arrived in northern Queensland, was given the clean bill of health. At the time, nobody knew or suspected that there was something going on, and it does appear there was a mass inside of his mind, like next to the brain, which caused, for lack of a better way of putting it, a stroke, so to speak. A massive seizure that caused what it caused, and now I no longer have my baby. But he's buried in the garden, and I talked to him. I did make it through that conversation completely straight-faced, but I was planning to go into the supermarket to get a couple of ingredients for tonight's dinner because I made pasta. But once they'd left, I said to Moby, I can't do anything more. Like, I effectively need to leave and go home immediately. Like, I'm maxed out, yeah. And I made it to my car before I broke. And I broke to the point where I had to sit in my car until it calmed down, because it would have been dangerous to try and drive given how much I was crying. I got home, when I kept crying, when I sat on the kitchen floor and I cried, and I hugged my teddy bear, and I was holding Boss's collar, and I just cried. And then I moved from the kitchen floor to the entryway floor next to Jackson, and I was patting him while I cried. And I basically cried myself out until literally there were no tears left. I'd had a notification from Reddit on my phone like all day for a story with no sleep that I really wanted to read. And as you may know if you've been following along, and if you don't, please subscribe. I very much try to make these videos every day. It's just like a diary of my life and thoughts and beliefs, so to speak. Kind of like I'm writing a journal, except that I'm talking it all out to you instead. Anyway, I love my swing. So I brought the egg chair up, it's connected to the front porch, and I was like, decided to, at least I remembered the bug spray, because holy moly, but I bug sprayed myself all over, went on the swing. It's at a height where I can actually swing, you know, like a proper swing at a park, so to speak. And I was swinging while I was trying to read and literally gave myself a headache and made myself nauseous. Not smart. So I learned that lesson. Fairly certain, like I said to Marie, it's the second time I've learned that lesson. I'm gonna go with I'll remember not to read while on the swing. It's one or the other, but not both at the same time. He ended up staying at the shop half an hour late because I've like he's addicted to Reddit too. It's cracking me up. Like I put it on his phone and showed him all about it, and yeah, he gets as absorbed in it as I do, which makes me laugh, so that's cool. But anyway, so make dinner, and Moby's friends had brought in, you know, a few things, and one of them was a bone for Jackson. And it was funny because we'd literally been talking about bones last night, right? And I was like, yeah, Boss wasn't really a bone dog, you know? And Moby's like, yeah, neither's Jackson. And so when he got it today, it was sort of like, well, it'd be interesting to see if he wants it or eats it. And I was like, every once in a while, Boss would get a bone and he'd bury it, and then you'd see it however long later. But Jackson did like it, and he was very happy. He was outside doing his thing, and eventually he came in, and I cleared the stuff off the couch between me and Moby so that Jackson could go between us. And I was like, hey Jackson, aren't you a little happy chappy? And it hit me. It registered with me, right? So I have been looking at the adoption listings in our area, going back and forth on the whole adopting a new dog. I'm never ever going to be able to replace Boss. That's a given. It's not about that. But I do miss having my baby, someone that's on the couch with like Jackson and I are definitely friends, you know. Moby calls me his mum. I said, Mum, you know, at first it was odd, but, you know, it's like family now. But effectively, Jackson is a daddy's boy, right? And I miss what I had with Boss. Anyway, I keep being drawn to the same profile, right? And when I said to Jackson, you're a little happy chappy, it clicked with me. The dog that I keep getting drawn back to on the adoption sites, right? Believe me when I say I've actually looked at a lot, right? Because I've had moments where looking at other adoptions has really, really helped me, and moments where I've looked and just broken down crying because of how much I miss Boss. Anyway, the dog that I keep being drawn back to, it's a male dog. I only want a male dog. The dog's name is Chappy, and the profile literally starts with, hi, my name is Chappy, but everybody just calls me Happy. Ergo, when I said to Jackson, you're a little happy Chappy, it went ding, ding, ding in my brain, and I couldn't help myself. I immediately checked the listing, right? And he is still listed for adoption. So even though I adopted Boss through the same organization, it was over 10 years ago, and I've searched through my various emails, and I believe it was like my oldest email because I can't find the info for it. So I created a new account. Obviously I double checked everything with Moby, like he's fully on board, and so I put an inquiry out to meet Happy. and I obviously, you know, with adoptions and stuff, like it's all about the best for the animals and the people and the environment. Everything has to match, you know. So, you know, like in the profile I said, you know, there's 2 of us, we're homebodies, we're mostly at home, you know, we plan to take, you know, the next fur baby we adopt to training. You know, we have a dog, Jackson will be coming with us to meet any potential adoptees, and it, you know, like it all has to click right before, you know, anything major would happen. But yeah, I don't know. As me and like Moby have discussed, and I, you know, I see, you know, when I met Boss, I knew instantly Boss was for me. Just the same with him and Jackson. But I have put out that inquiry. I feel like I will question myself if I don't. I'm not trying to predict the future because I got no idea what's going to happen, but it's out there now, is what I'm saying. I know Boss wants me to give another big dog a home. This dog is a big dog. I think it might be even bigger than Boss will be. Pretty sure he's a bull Arab dog. Don't quote me on that, yeah? But I've researched the hell out of them, yeah? And the number one thing that I have come across with everything I've read so far is that they are, like, they very much need to be trained from as young as possible, right? Because of the size, the breed, you know, I think, you know, some of it can see, you know, they can be known as aggressive if not trained correctly. But so can Rottweilers and Dobermans, which Boss was across from. And really, when you think about it, any dog in their right mind can be an aggressive dog if not trained or looked after properly. So that's done. I finally got the furniture that we want sold up on Facebook Marketplace. I don't use Facebook, as you know, so I'm using Moby's account, which means having to go back and forth. And like, I was kind of hoping I would get the messages through the Facebook app, which I'm logged in through him, so that my messaging app can still be for me. Does seem to switch it out, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm actually doing, but I'm never totally sure if I know what I'm 100% doing anyway, in general, so that's okay. Considering I cried a lot this afternoon, I am feeling pretty good with where I'm at now. When I was sitting in the car crying, in like my mind, actually I take that back. I was still sitting in the shop having the conversation when in the back of my head all I kept thinking was, I want weed, I want weed, I want weed, right? Which is interesting because I have had no weed today and have no intention of it either. We were given a beautiful bottle of wine and I tried it and I had some and it was lovely, but I only really had a few mouthfuls and then gave the rest of it to Moby. Point being, I'm completely sober and feeling pretty good, so I feel like that's a win for the day. Anyway, we are watching this anime show, The Rising of the Shield Hero, I think it's called. But we've just finished the first season, and as I've said to Moby, I'm very new to watching anime. It's not something I would choose myself. So we're like breaking it up. And my mum is currently watching The Fall of Usher House, something like that the title is, with my brother. I've seen it. Moby hasn't. And I was like, it'd be fun to watch because my mum's watching it, but she'll only watch it with my brother when my brother's there on Sundays and Wednesdays. So I've now been talking for nearly 15 minutes. I'm going to upload this video and go and join Moby and watch an episode of that. to all of you out there, I just want to say a really big thank you for continuing to support me and come along with me on my journey through life. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Not gonna lie, it does really make me feel really good and happy and warm and fuzzy when I see the subscription numbers go up. Same thing when I see that I've got, you know, hundreds or thousands of viewings. That's pretty exciting for me too. Because I really am just a little old me sitting in my house in Australia, just sharing my stories. And on that, I'm going to say good night, everyone, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.